So Putin recently made his first trip to China since the start of the Ukraine invasion, and from the Russian point of view, I think it was a failure. But despite that, Putin hailed it as a win. So what is happening? Well, as I've been reporting every single time Xi and Putin have met since the Ukraine invasion, Putin's #1 aim is to replace the lost European gas exports. In 2021, 69% of total gas exports went to Europe, and 84% of it went through the Nord Stream, and thus replacing this gas is absolutely critical. Reading headlines, you might think that Russia has now solved this problem. Gazprom's head Alexei Miller post-meeting touted a 46.6% increase in exports using the existing Power of Siberia pipeline that supplies China with Russian gas. But this is no win. Firstly, the ramping up to the maximum 38 billion cubic meters a year was already planned. It's merely the result of the pipeline's completion. Furthermore, this 38 billion isn't particularly significant when you remember that Nord Stream pipelines into Europe delivered 55 billion each. Also, the first Power of Siberia pipeline taps from the eastern Russian reserves and not the western gas fields that supplied Europe. And this is the gas that Russia really needs to get back up and going, and that's because gas isn't simply a tap you can turn on and off with no ill effects. With limited gas storage, Russia would need to cap the wells, basically plug them up, which creates huge technical challenges, and essentially it's not advisable even at the best of times. The longer Russia doesn't use this gas field, the harder it will be to get it back up and running, and the less likely it will ever be able to return back to its old flow rate. And now I'm introducing the solution, the Power of Siberia pipeline #2. It's the pipeline that would deliver gas from the western fields through Mongolia and into China. It's been proposed for over 10 years now, and it's gone absolutely nowhere. But there's been a lot of pressure to finally build it after the Ukraine invasion. Before this latest meeting of Putin and Xi, Putin told his Mongolian counterpart that he was optimistic about the pipeline, saying that everyone agrees with this project, all parties who are participating want it to work, it's a matter of implementation. I think we will move at a good pace. But like every other meeting Putin's had with China, there hasn't been a single concrete word about this pipeline. Why is China so hesitant? Well, in my last video on this topic, I said that China has continued to use this as leverage over Russia for over a decade now, and especially since the start of the Ukraine invasion, it's like a carrot they can dangle in front of Russia whenever convenient. There's also geographic reasons. China would want it to go through the most direct route through Kazakhstan, a country that has recently fallen out of Russia's orbit and into China's. Meanwhile, Russia wants it to move through the much more Russian-friendly Mongolia. Furthermore, to isolate Russia even more, at around the same time as this Putin meeting, China signed a new gas supply contract with Kazakhstan right under Putin's nose. There's also questions over whether China really needs it at all. It would probably take a decade to build, and with a declining manufacturing economy, their energy needs will only go down from here. And also, who's going to pay for it? Russia wanted China to pay for it, but seeing it would benefit Russia far more than it would benefit China, good luck with that. Basically, folks, it's a complete pipe dream. Thanks for listening.